Have you ever wondered why some people who call themselves your friends don't really act like it? Or have you ever felt that behind a warm smile, something else was hiding? A quiet tension, an unspoken resentment, something that didn't quite fit the idea of friendship. We like to think that spotting a fake friend is easy, but the truth is, most of them are far more careful. They don't reveal themselves through obvious betrayal. Instead, they move quietly, through small comments, casual gestures, or a carefully maintained mask of politeness. Carl Jung once said that people don't become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. And that lesson applies not only to the self, but also to relationships. To know who truly stands by you and who doesn't, you have to bring to light the hidden motives and subtle patterns of behavior that expose false friends. In this video, we'll look deeper at the two psychological signs that unmistakably reveal when someone isn't a real friend. These aren't clichés or surface-level tips, but truths rooted in psychology and in Jung's exploration of the human shadow. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to Beyond the Twist and join our community so you won't miss upcoming videos on psychology, self-discovery, and the hidden sides of human nature. Now, let's begin. Friendship is often described with words like loyalty, trust, and mutual growth. Yet research in social psychology shows that not every friendship is built on these ideals. Robin Dunbar, a psychologist famous for his studies on human social networks, discovered that while we may know hundreds of people, only a very small circle truly counts as emotionally close. Within that circle, loyalty matters more than anything. But when someone takes a place inside that circle without real loyalty, what follows is disappointment, deception, and eventually pain. Fake friends live in that gap between how they appear and who they really are. They present themselves as allies, but are secretly motivated by insecurity, envy, or quiet resentment. This is where Carl Jung's idea of the shadow explains so much. The shadow is the part of ourselves we deny or push away, the traits we don't want to admit we have. When people carry unacknowledged envy, fear, or insecurity, they often project those feelings outward. Instead of facing their own shadow, they cast it onto you, the person they call a friend. On the surface, they may offer support, but underneath, your presence unsettles them. Your growth, your progress, even your success, stirs something in them they cannot control. And this brings us to the first psychological sign of a fake friend. It doesn't usually appear as outright betrayal, but as something more quiet, more calculated. The first sign is consistent undermining. Unlike open hostility, undermining hides behind humor, advice, or false support. Imagine you share an achievement. They congratulate you, but then quickly add, "Well, lots of people get that chance." Or when you're excited about a success, they remind you of the time you failed. Remember when you tried this before and it didn't work out? At first, these remarks may feel harmless, even playful. But over time, a clear pattern emerges. They're not lifting you up, they're keeping you small. Studies on envy, like Richard H. Smith's research on envy theory in 2008, show that when people feel threatened by someone else's success, they often look for ways to minimize or devalue it. Fake friends become experts at this, masking envy as jokes, sarcasm, or well-meaning advice. Jung's theory of projection makes this clear. The failures, insecurities, and fears they hate in themselves are pushed onto you. When they undermine you, they're really battling their own shadow. But to you, it feels like constant self-doubt. Instead of leaving a conversation feeling encouraged, you walk away questioning yourself. Over time, This erodes confidence and trust. And that is why undermining, though subtle, is one of the most reliable signs of a false friend. Why does this sign matter so much? Because it hides in plain sight. Real friends might critique you, but their criticism builds you up. Fake friends critique you to keep you down. That's the difference. Research on relational aggression, a form of indirect hostility studied in psychology, shows that disguised criticism, gossip, or backhanded comments can damage relationships and self-esteem just as much as open conflict. It chips away slowly, leaving you unsure of what's real. When someone repeatedly undermines you, it tells you their loyalty is conditional. They want your presence, but not your growth. They enjoy your company, but not your success. This is why Jung's insight matters. Until you bring the shadow into awareness, it controls you. But the moment you name the pattern, consistent undermining, you begin to see clearly. And clarity is the first step toward freedom. If undermining shows itself most during your moments of success, then the second sign of a fake friend reveals itself when you're at your lowest. Before we move forward, if this video is giving you clarity, consider sharing it with someone who might need it. And if you'd like to support thoughtful content like this, you can use the thanks button below. Every bit of support makes a real difference. Now, let's continue. The second, and perhaps the clearest sign of a fake friend, is absence when it matters most. A true friend may not always be present for every casual moment, but when life truly tests you, they are steady. A fake friend, however, has a pattern of disappearing when you need them the most. Psychological studies on social support show that simply knowing someone will be there for you in difficult times is one of the strongest predictors of resilience. That reliability builds trust. When someone consistently fails to show up, their actions speak louder than their words. They may reappear when life is light, fun, or full of benefits. But the moment things turn difficult, they pull away. Jung believed that the truth of any relationship is revealed in times of suffering. Hardship strips away the mask. In struggle, hidden motives surface. A fake friend who vanishes during your darkest hours shows you that their loyalty was never real. Their absence is the shadow breaking through. The proof that their bond with you was built not on care, but on convenience. If the first sign exposes them in your moments of success, the second sign unmasks them in your moments of pain. Together, they form the full picture. Undermining disguised as support and absence when you truly need help. These two patterns define false friendship. One weakens you as you rise. The other abandons you as you fall. Together, they reveal the truth. Recognizing these signs is not about becoming cynical or mistrusting everyone. It's about becoming conscious. As Jung said, the unconscious must be made visible, or it controls us. By learning to see these patterns, you stop confusing surface-level friendliness with genuine loyalty. You begin to protect your energy, set boundaries, and invest only in the relationships that allow you to grow. Friendship is one of life's most precious gifts, but only when it's real. By recognizing these two psychological signs, subtle undermining and absence in hard times, you can finally separate false friends from true ones. Jung's insight into the human shadow reminds us that people often hide their real motives. But patterns never lie. Once you see them, you cannot unsee them. Now, I'd like to hear from you. Have you ever noticed these signs of fake friendship in your own life? Share your experiences in the comments below. I read every single one. And if you found this video meaningful, don't forget to subscribe to Beyond the Twist for more deep dives into psychology, personal growth, and the hidden truths of human behavior.